Hello, Flosstube. It has been quite a minute. It was pre-Pinwheel Pursuit raffle before, or since I've talked to you guys last. I'm back in my sewing, reading, crafting room, but it is not entirely my own yet. All of the raffle stuff has been mailed out, but it's still a little bit of a disaster in here. But I've cleaned up enough right in front of my bookshelf where I can be in here and film. So, yes, everything's been mailed out as of yesterday, and today is Wednesday the 18th. So if you were expecting a package from me where you won something, just know I sent it out in 4 batches. The last one, number 4, went out yesterday. So I would say a week from today, they should have a chance to travel everywhere. Has anyone else just been in a major funk lately? Hey, buddy. You want to say hello? Say hello. So, yeah. I have just been... I don't know. It's been weird. Gotta get myself back in the right mindset to stitch regularly and do things and not be in a funk. Look at this belly. Look at this belly. Okay, do you want to lay in Mom's lap while I film? There you go. Y'all can't see him, but I'm sitting like cross-legged. I'm just gonna put him in the little leg basket. Yeah, you'll be okay right there. So I have been working really intensively on things. Like I worked on Riley Harbor for a long time. And then I decided I wanted to switch up to something else. And I really thought that that was gonna like draw me in. And it did kind of, but I also had several days where I was like, I don't think I want to stitch. And I don't know if it was so much that I didn't want to stitch that, or if, like I said, I've been in a funky mindset. What is happening? My black jeans are about to be white, aren't they? You don't care. He's such a cutie patootie. You are so cute. You are so cute and you know it. Old man. Let's see if I can tilt it where you guys can see. I mean, so cute. Wow. Okay, now I've just messed everything up. Okay. Do you know how much you're loved? Do you know how much you're loved? Sweet boy. Okay, so anyway, like I was saying, been in a funk. Some days I just haven't felt like stitching. Some days I've been obsessed. I started a new project for Dark 13, which was last Friday. It was Friday the 13th, which was the one and only Friday the 13th of this year. So, yeah. I've been kind of into it. I'm still working on it, so I'll show you guys that. You need a spanking. Yeah, you need a spanking. You're so dirty. First, I will show you guys Riley Harbor. This is a Kathy Barrick piece, which I pulled it out once I had been down at St. Simon's Island because it's got that island feel to it. And it's just one of my favorite designs by her. doing this on a piece of silk weaver with mainly the called for DMC. I'm switching up the blue because I like for my blues to be a little bit more vivid. I did basically everything from my finger over this go around. It's a lot. I think I did a lot. I'll show you the whole thing. Yeah, if you're like, Emily, your nails are all different colors. You know, it's June. I was feeling some Pride Month support, so this is what I had on hand that was kind of rainbowy. Love this. Love this piece. Don't think it's necessarily something I'll finish anytime in the immediate future, but I do enjoy working on it. Just laying there, with your feet in the air, kicking me with your little paws. Guys, the cuteness. Your feet are cold. Your real feet are cold. Okay, let's put this back in here. Trying to avoid getting buster hair on it, but that is easier said than done when he's just collapsed on me. Don't worry, buddy. Don't you move. I'll work around you. The next thing I pulled out was something I wanted to get some work done on this year, and that is Caroline Amelia Trowel. And that is this design by Brenda Gervais. It is a reproduction sampler, and it is just weird and funky, and all of the proportions and sizes are ridiculous and don't make sense, but that's why I love it. And I left it in the Q-snap because in my head I was like, I'm going to move to my dark 13, but then I'll come back to this. Like, I don't feel like I got enough done on it. So I had a tiny bit of roof done, I believe, and I did this house. I already had this little bit of grass. I did part of this lady, some more of this, and I did this. And that's it. That's really not much in the grand scheme of this piece. A little bit closer so you can see it. I'm using all the called for threads for this, and I'm doing this on a piece of Fiber on a Whim Latte. What do you think, buddy? The Dark 13 piece that I started. This is a very bad representation. It always is. Lori Brecklin's charts are not always the best quality photos, but I mean, they don't do the pieces justice, but she's an excellent designer. So this is My Pretty. It's one that you don't see a lot. It's weird. I mean, look at her hands, how big they are. So this calls for DMC. You can tell I'm working on it because I have just loose threads. But I really didn't want to do this in DMC. I wanted some variegation to my threads, so I pulled all color and cotton threads that I had in stash. I have been a part of Color and Cotton's thread club for a lot of years, and I've got just a really big collection. I've been to their store and just grabbed colors that I liked. I am doing this. I'm lucky to have a stashed piece of Lakeside Linen's Vintage Sand Dune in 36 count, and I started this on it. And her, in person, you can tell the difference between her skin tone and the fabric more than on camera, but it's still similar, but I kind of like that. I mean, she's funky. Look at that giant paw. But yeah, so changed the threads. Loving this. I'm going to work on it for a couple more days. And then maybe I'll go back to Carolina Amelia Trout. I don't know. I've only been talking for 10 minutes, and I've taken you guys through everything that I've worked on in the past month. Haven't bought anything because I have enough stuff already, and all of my focus has been on going through and touching stitching stuff and getting it out to you guys. So there's that. I did read quite a few books since I saw you guys last, so I guess I can talk about those. I have a couple here and a couple I did, I got from the library, or did an audiobook from the library. The first one that I read is Bunny by Mona Awad. This is weird girl horror. I don't know how else to explain it. Says Samantha Heather Mackey couldn't be more of an outsider in her small, highly selective MFA program at an elite New England university, a scholarship student who prefers the company of her dark imagination to that of most people. She's utterly repelled by the rest of her fiction writing cohort, a clique of unbearably twee rich girls who call each other Bunny and seem to move and speak as one. So they invite her into their fold, into their group, and it seems like that there's more to them than meets the eye. They dabble in some interesting things, and it draws her in as well. And it's kind of at some points you're wondering what's reality and what's in her head. It's one of those kind of books. It was a good time. It wasn't a 5-star book, but it was a good time. Apparently it kind of has a cult following, and people love this book so much. There is a sequel coming out by this author later this year, I just discovered. I don't know if I love it that much, but it was a good time. The next book I read, I got from my library, and it's called Clever Little Thing, and it was by Helena Eklund. I'm reading on my Goodreads here. Just petting Buster as he lays with his legs in the air. I don't know if you guys can hear him just purring. It was an interesting book. I enjoyed it. It starts off, and the mother has obviously been hospitalized, and you can tell that she thinks there's something wrong with her child, and it's this weird, is she crazy? Is it all in her head? Or is there really something weird about her kid? Which I kind of enjoy a creepy kid book. They're one of my favorites. And this one kind of melded thriller and supernatural, which is definitely right up my alley. Again, not necessarily a 5-star read, but I did really enjoy it. It was weird, and I love that. The next that I finished, I think I was talking about it in my last one, I finished Pet Sematary by Stephen King. 5 stars. But I love the movie. I've always loved the movie. I've loved the story. It genuinely terrified me as a child. I'd never read the book before. And it's one of those where sometimes I question if I want to read the book to something that I've already seen the movie for, because I think maybe I'll be bored, because I already know the storyline. This was enough different to keep me interested, and enough the same where I was like, oh, okay, so that still happens. Ooh, but that's different. But it was good. It was definitely good. The next thing I read was Memorials by Richard Chismar. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly at all. Apparently he does a lot of co-writing sometimes with Stephen King. I picked this up because it was a somewhat newer book, and I love like an Appalachian set horror book. This one's a little bit longer. I almost gave this one 5 stars. I was genuinely creeped out at times reading this book. It's about this group of... Excuse you. Goodness. It was about this. That was adorable, buddy. It's about this group of 3 college students who are doing a group project for their American Studies class, and they decide to go on a road trip around the Appalachian Hills in Pennsylvania where they live. I believe it's Pennsylvania. And film and do research and interviews on roadside memorials. They've all experienced some type of personal loss and have a connection to losing someone close to you, and kind of want to dig into what those mean to people. And but then there's some supernatural aspects. There's some like backwoods, we don't want you here, kind of small town stuff going on. And they're trying to do this on the college student budget side. So they're like camping. So you get that like, we're out camping on this road trip and there's someone watching us kind of creepy vibe. So I did really enjoy this. Did you like me doing that? You like that? Boop. So I would have given this 5 stars if the ending was a little different, but I'm weird with endings. Like sometimes I like things to like ease into an ending and be more emotional than action-packed. I'm not a big like everything's happening action-packed ending kind of person. But it was still really good. I would recommend this. It was really good. I also listened to an audiobook because I find myself doing that as I travel for work and travel for appointments and stuff like that. I listened to The Widow's House, and that's by Carol Goodman. It was just a kind of supernaturally thriller that my library had. It was good. Yet another one where it's not a 5-star read. I think Goodreads has it here at 3.66, which is kind of a very average rating. And this woman and her husband, he moves them. He's a writer, and he's written his first book, and he's been stalled out on his second book for forever, and feels like maybe if they move away into the country, that he'll get this revived ability to write. So they move back to where she's from. And yeah, there's some supernatural aspects, like I said, and then there's some marital issues, and you're screaming. If you're listening to the audiobook, you're like me, you're in your car yelling at the audiobook at times going, girl. But I did really like this. It's another one I like when you have a protagonist where you're questioning if they're the crazy one or not. Like you want to trust your narrator, but if you're like, wait, maybe they're nuts. Like maybe I can't trust their perspective. Like maybe they're not seeing things as they truly are. I like that. I mean, ugh. We just have fluff. You're just fluff. Mama's jeans are white now. Yeah. Wow. Look at you. Look at you. I'm reading a couple of books right now, actually. I am finishing up All Fours by Brenda Gervais. It is not for people who don't enjoy a spicy novel. I'm not necessarily a spicy novel person, but this had such good reviews. I was like, I want to know more about this woman in her mid-40s going through this reawakening and learning more about herself. I am like a chapter away from finishing it, and I almost just stopped reading it halfway through, but I'm glad that I'm finishing it. I do not like the main character. And I struggle with a book where I don't like the main character, but I do not like her. I do not feel that she is moral. I do not feel like she is really a good person, like truly to her core, and I struggle with that. But it definitely explores a lot of things on like sexuality and things like that. So if that makes you uncomfortable, don't read it. But it has shown me a different type of lifestyle and perspective, which we could all read more things like that and grow as an individual and maybe just learn what we don't like. But maybe I didn't need to read this to know I don't like that. Anyway. I am also about to read this, which I'm not excited about at all. This sounds terrible and stupid. But it's one of those books where the majority of the reviews are 5 stars. Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. We are reading this for my work book club. I'm not excited about this. It says, after Tova Sullivan's husband died, she began working night shift at the Sol Bay Aquarium, mopping floors and tidying up. Keeping busy has always helped her cope, which she's been doing since her 18-year-old son mysteriously vanished on a boat in the Puget Sound over 30 years ago. Tova becomes acquainted with curmudgeonly Marcellus, a brilliant giant Pacific octopus living at the aquarium. Marcellus wouldn't dream of lifting one of his 8 arms for his human captors until he forms a friendship with Tova. Ever the detective, Marcellus, the octopus, deduces what happened the night Tova's son disappeared, and now Marcellus must use every trick in his old invertebrate body can muster to unearth the truth for her before it's too late. This sounds stupid. Is this a talking octopus? If you have read this and it's actually good, please leave me some encouragement down below, because I'm going to read it, but I'm not looking forward to this. It sounds terrible. My glasses are falling down. I may start this tonight. Not excited. I'm also reading the new Sarah Pinborough book, We Live Here Now. I would not have started that already, but I actually had car trouble. Whoops. I actually had car trouble a couple of weekends ago and got stranded, God forbid, at all places, at a bookstore. And Jim had to come and jump my car off. We had to get me a new battery. It was just my battery. But I was stranded for a couple hours at a bookstore, so I bought a book and started reading it. Do you want up, baby boy? There you go. So, yeah, that's what I'm up to. Still doing the vlogs, so if you want to know more like personal Emily life stuff, a lot of that's been going in there. And I may just take off these jeans because they are white now. So much Buster hair. Thanks, buddy. Good job. He doesn't care. 0 shits about my jeans. So, yeah, it's summer. I'm going to try to get out of this funk I'm going to try to enjoy my stitching. I'm going to try to get in a better headspace. Any pointers for that? Bring it at me. I genuinely believe that summertime puts me in some kind of weird seasonal depression. So I think I'm just in a funk and I've got to get out of it. I've got to figure something out. This too shall pass. And I'll see you guys on the other side.